We are here at the Ford Drive event in Arcadia, California, specifically Santa Anita Park. And this drive is for the Ford Edge ST and the Ford Edge Titanium. So, let's check it out.
All right, Richard.
Darren, but yeah.
Darren.
Yeah.
Darren Richard.
Yeah.
I'm not, you can tell I'm not from California.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
And you're all set. Enjoy.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you. So after checking in briefly, we are now on our way to driving one of the Ford STs. Jump in the Ford ST. It is the first SUV model with the ST badge on it. I'm getting ready to try out this sport mode on it. Not sure if it's the same transmission as the Mustangs, but it's an all new 8-speed transmission, so we'll see. So, oh great, you're with me. All right, fantastic. The seats feel actually more comfortable in the ST model than they do in the GT Mustang, so there's that. Electronic adjustment for the steering, which is awesome. I think you said there's a sport button here, right? I think it's a sport button.
You're right.
Yep. Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
All right, enjoy.
Thank you. So right off the bat, the acceleration, I'm not sure what it feels like in normal mode, but sport already maps the throttle quite, it's very, very sensitive, I can tell. Oh gosh, these brakes are very sensitive. Double apex here. And then I gotta use these brakes. Okay, so I think I missed the acceleration zone.
I think you start with accelerating.
Okay. Wow, this torque is actually quite impressive. For an SUV of this size, it's very peppy. And for the price of less than sports SUV, it's absolutely phenomenal. 380 torque, you feel it, especially, I mean, I'm sure you feel it better more on the back seat, but you can even feel it just in the front, and it's phenomenal. Handles apex turns like a master. And I feel like the track should be longer, but that's okay.
Go again.
I think this is fine.
Yeah.
This is fine, thank you. All right, now it's time for a little action from the outside. So now we're doing a road test with the Ford Edge Titanium package, and we're gonna see if we could have a little more fun. All right. I have to say the Edge actually has beefier seats. This feels a little softer in terms of the leather, in terms of the firmness, and I don't know. The touch points are a little nicer, I think, on the titanium package. So.
Some of the reasons you're going to see that is because it is more of a race inspired. So you're going to have more of a sporty seating. You're going to have more of a fitted seating on the ST, similar to like a Recaro style racing seat, versus this is going to be a little bit more luxury. So some of those touch points are going to be with finer cuts of leather or the upgraded stitching in particular, because this is a titanium.
Right. So it's getting a little hot in here.
So we have that push button start there.
I want to drive it in regular mode before putting sport mode, because I jumped in sport mode right away in the ST. So I just want to see what it feels, the drivetrain feels like just in regular mode.
Sure.
So the steering in regular mode definitely is more, make it right?
We're making it right, correct.
The steering feels quite comfortable. It's not as stiff, of course, like the STs, but that's also because we're not in sport mode. But so far, it feels very lush and comfort. And this is comfort mode.
So you're going to look at difference in performance in regard to these because this will have a different engine to the ST. So this has got about 90 horsepower less than what the horse. So this has got 245 versus the ST that has 335.
Gotta get used to the brakes.
They feel a little bit different.
Yeah.
And that's because on certain STs you can have the option for an upgrading braking system, and they'll have red caliber brakes on that.
And so in terms of like the amenities like accident awareness, does that come with the titanium package or no?
Sure, and then remember with the titanium package there will be certain features that are just standard as well. You know, so like bliss, and so blind spot detection and things like that will also be.
Also sensing that this has an active fuel management. So
So it's an auto start and stop, and some people are big fans of that, some people don't like that technology, and so we have a pretty simple button that is just down there that if you hit this auto start stop, it will deactivate that and the engine will start back up and it won't stop when you come to a complete stop. A lot of people ask, they say, how much gas does that save? And this is kind of hard to determine because what I compare it to is like taking the change in your pocket at the end of every day and throwing it in a jar when you get home.
Right.
Some days it may be 25 cents, some days 50, some days it's a nickel, but eventually over the year it'll add up. So that's kind of the way I put it.
Now that I know the throttle mapping on normal mode, I'm actually going to put it in sport mode.
Absolutely. Go ahead and do that.
Oh, wow. It's got a little kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely puts you in well, I'm assuming it shifts lower. It stays in lower gear longer. So that you get
it stays it stays in a lower gear longer, and it stays at a higher RPM. So basically, it's going to hold the gear position, and it's going to make it just a little bit more of an aggressive feel in the way that it drives.
Yeah, this feels great. The steering also feels about the same as the STs right now too.
Sure.
It has 90 less horsepower, but
it's still plenty to.
Yeah, it's still plenty to play with, and just like with the ST, you feel the torque just really kick in.
You're going to find that the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo is a platform that they're using or is across the board. And there's several manufacturers that are kind of using that and it's really versatile and it's really well performing. Right. And as they say, it's the performance of the 6 with the fuel economy of the 4.
Right.
So it works
right. Is this the same turbo 4-cylinder that's in the EcoBoost Mustang, or is it different?
So this has got a little bit of a different displacement. So this is a 2-liter. The one in the EcoBoost Mustang is a 2.3 liter. So this is pushing 245. You're actually getting 310 out of the EcoBoost Mustang. So even just that small percentage up in liters is making a pretty big difference.
Right.
When you think about the Mustang and where it's come from, so if you look at like say the 1999 to a 2000 Mustang, it had a 4.6 liter V8. And it had about 295 to 300 horsepower.
Right.
This engine is literally half the engine. So it's went from an 8 to a 4, a 4.6 to a 2.3, and you went up about 10 to 15 horsepower. So you went up to 310 horsepower. So it's really amazing where EcoBoost has been able to take our engines.
That's impressive. Absolutely impressive, especially for an SUV.
Yeah.
To match the fuel economy and be just as powerful as.
Yeah.
I also noticed it has paddle shifters.
Yes.
So that's only active in sport, or is that active?
No, you can activate it at any point in time. It's pretty simple though. You can try it. Go ahead and try it. And again, that's going to give you just that little pop.
Yeah. Can't see what gear I'm in.
So you see right there where your RPMs are?
Yes.
It's going to give you a 4. You see that in orange?
Oh, I see, yes.
So that's basically letting you know what gear.
Oh, right here. Got it.
And if you ever want to pop out of that, I usually just push it into drive or I touch the sport button, whichever.
Sure. Well, that concludes the Ford Drive event for the Ford Edge ST and the Ford Edge Titanium. Both are really good SUVs, pack a lot of power and a considerable amount of torque, and honestly, I can see myself getting one. Let me know what you guys think.